Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Had Cosmic Energy. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way over on Anime King 2 and Anime King guys, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you're hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Animaking family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, Jiraiya was rushing back to the village as fast as he possibly can to make sure that he get there on time. But he was too late. The sealing was already taking immense. As the sealing process was going on, the nine-tailed fox did something as he refused to be sealed. His power exploded out wildly, seeing that he got shrunk after half of his body was already taken away and sealed within Minato. His power was cut in half. The touch of the Shinigami along with the Nine-Tails power, it caused a paranormal activity. A strange wormhole opened up right in front of the newborn baby that was none other than Naruto Uzumaki. A strange, purple aura flooded from that wormhole. It seeped into the skin of the young boy, and as that it was gone, the Shinigami looked at Naruto with a curious eye. Before doing what he came here to do, after all, it didn't matter how much the Kyuubi struggled, he still got sealed. Well, he got a bit of revenge by killing his last container and the man that sealed him away. And with that he was sealed within Naruto. As Jiraiya arrived, as he made a promise to Kushina that he would take care of Naruto and make sure that he is alright, as she thanked him. She ended up dying after a while, as Minato was already dead since his soul was sealed away, now within the Shinigami grasp. After that was over, Hiruzen had made up his mind after Jiraiya had spoken to him. Hiruzen called a meeting, as only the council members are supposed to know about Naruto and his secret. None of them knew that he was the son of Minato. After all, that was a bigger secret that only Hiruzen, Jiraiya, another person, and that was Kakashi, knew. As Hiruzen saw fit to tell him, seeing that he was a last remaining student of Minato, not to mention he was given the job to watch over Kushina while she was pregnant. As Hiruzen decided to show them once and for all that he is the Hokage, as he did not take any further convincing when he told them if this secret was leaked, it doesn't matter clan head or not, they will be executed. So all of the clan heads decided to keep their mouth shut, not telling anyone this, as this was a secret that should be completely sealed. As Jiraiya knew that he couldn't take Naruto now, after all he was just a baby boy. And he couldn't take care of a baby. So he told Hiruzen that he would be back in a couple of years, once Naruto learned how to walk and talk. As Hiruzen made sure the matriarch at the orphanage took care of Naruto. Well, it wasn't hard because the matriarch loved him, as Naruto was so nice and wonderful to everyone that he met, and not to mention he was a cute baby, as he made a lot of friends at the orphanage, especially a girl that he called Panda Bear. Seeing that her hair looked like panda ears, but she got adopted and he didn't see her anymore. Hiruzen started saw Naruto was different from other people because the boy could literally tell where he was before even coming in. When Jiraiya finally arrived and he was introduced to his godfather, as Naruto decided to tell them what he, did, he was hearing voices in his head. The both of them looked at him strange as they thought that it was a Kyuubi, but why would the Kyuubi told him to save people and tell him strange things about what was going to happen? The fox was supposed to be evil. Jiraiya had no idea what this was, but it was time that he took Naruto for himself and find out anyway. As with that, Naruto said goodbye to all of his friends at the orphanage and the matriarch, as he told them when he come back, he's gonna be big and famous and wealthy, and he's gonna buy them anything they want. Little did he know, he was already a millionaire. After all of the remaining funds from the Uzumaki and the Namikaze household was in his name, that was in a bank account for him, that Hiruzen had kept safe. So with that, the both of them made their way. Months passed as they were on the road, as Jiraiya found it to realize that Naruto was rather strange. Jiraiya was using Naruto though, well, not in a bad sense, but because of how cute Naruto was. And when the ladies saw him as the mature figure that stepped up to take care of a precious kid, they instantly liked him. But Naruto wanted barbecue, as Jiraiya went to get him something else, as they had to go back to the other village to get barbecue. It was then that Naruto heard a voice in his head, as he went along with it, as he broke down the couch cushion on a microscopic level, breaking apart the atoms, everything into it. As he switched it, and a fresh plate of barbecue was there. Jiraiya came back as he thought Naruto was lying, but Naruto showed him. But something went wrong, as Naruto fell unconscious. When he woke up, Jiraiya had took him to a doctor, but he was just fine, he was just unconscious. The doctor couldn't tell head or tails what happened to him, but it wasn't normal for a kid to just pass out like that. Jiraiya figured whatever he did, it was a cause. He will have to find out exactly what this is. So yeah guys, was basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself. So just to begin this new episode. When it comes to Seal, there was no one better than Minato Sensei, a voice said. Even in my old age, the youngster surpassed me rather quickly. As two people were currently in a rather large yard, in front of them was a compound. The Namikaze clan was a clan. It wasn't as big and popular like the Uchiha or the Hyuga clan, but it was a clan. But the members were wiped out in a second and third grade shinobi war, leaving only one person remain, and that boy, he grew up as an orphan. He never knew that he was a part of this clan, until he was old enough to be told what happened to his clan, after all his parents had died, leaving him behind. That boy was none other than Minato Namikaze. Minato had seen it fit to retake his clan home that was in Konoha. It was a few yards away from the Hyuga compound, up in the upper district. At the moment, two people were standing in the yard, and that was none other than Hiruzen and Kakashi. As years has passed since Naruto had left off with Jiraiya, Kakashi was the one that Hiruzen talked to about most things, seeing that he knew Naruto well, and not to mention the crazy reports that has been coming back regarding Naruto and some things that he could do, which Kakashi didn't really, believe, because it was hard to believe something like that without seeing it for yourself. But Jiraiya wouldn't lie about something like that. Yes, the reports had been rather crazy. Both men made their way towards the house. Hiruzen had been here a couple of times before, and so was Kakashi, as Minato had keyed in certain chakra signature into the household. Raising his hand, Hiruzen placed it on the lock. A massive seal and array spread all over the door. It was the same as coming in when entering the gate. There was a clicking sound as the door opened. Pushing forward inside, the both of them looked around. Most would think that the house would be rather dusty after all these years. To think that the place would be, torn down and worn down, seeing that no one was there to maintain or live within it. But, as Kakashi said, Minato was the greatest when it comes to seals. Walking around, everything was in pristine shape. The reason for that is, seals layer the entire place. A self-cleaning seal. Well, the food had gone bad. Yeah, terrible. As Jiraiya couldn't come back here after losing Minato so quickly, it pained him too much to even see a photograph of the man. After all, he barely looked at the photo in the office, where his picture stood. He didn't even want to look at the monument, as it brought back so many bad memories. And Hiruzen himself, the loss had hit him greatly to see such a young, wonderful couple be taken away like that, not being able to raise their son, as he knew they would make a perfect family. As he sighed, Kakashi on the other hand, it was really bad on him. He lost his two friends, his two teammates. He lost his sensei. He lost his father. The man's life had surely been hell, but despite that, he doesn't show it that much. He just mostly keeps to himself. Well, he will have a new genuine team soon enough. After all, Hiruzen has already told him about Naruto coming back and becoming a genin. The both of them made their way through the house. Well, it seems like everything is ready for him, said Kakashi. But isn't it rather a large? Hiruzen finished for him. Huh. Given Naruto's attitude a long time ago, I believe he's gonna be quite bored. Well, a lot can happen in a couple of years. Probably he's changed, more mature. Well, I don't doubt that. And given Jiraiya being his mentor, I am really worried about how he changed. What do you mean? Kakashi, you read those books on a daily basis. Don't act like you don't know what I mean. I guess you're right, said Kakashi, as he knew what exactly Hiruzen mean. Given Jiraiya mentality when it comes to, well, perving on ladies. And the man declaring that he's a super pervert. What if that rub off on Naruto? Kakashi shook his head. So, what did the council say when you told them? Well, they were shocked. Most of them didn't believe it. But I brought out the records for that night, when Kushina gave birth. So they had no reason but to believe it. They're the only ones, and you, Jiraiya and myself, that know about this. I declared it a double S secret to not tell anyone. After all, there are still enemies out there that Minato had garnered over the years. Yeah, especially the stone, said Kakashi, as he knew how those people wanted Minato dead. And I don't know Naruto's skill set just yet, and even knowing his skill set and knowing that he's strong, it wouldn't be wise to have a 12-year-old kid being hunted by ninjas after ninjas. Kakashi nodded as he glanced around and made their way. Everything seemed to be fine here, but they were worried that the place was a bit too big, and Naruto was going to be a bit too bored. As Hiruzen knew that Jiraiya had to go back out on his own, some of the letters that Hiruzen got from Naruto, he was staying with one of Jiraiya's accomplices, while Jiraiya made his way out to gather information. So most of the time Naruto was left alone with different people, being there to watch over him and guide him. But Jiraiya was there, always coming back as quick as possible to make his way. But once Naruto came back to the village and became a genin, Jiraiya will have to go out again. And Hiruzen wasn't sure how Naruto will take the news. Hiruzen just smiled to himself as he just wanted to see Naruto and see how much he has grown. He really missed him, and he knew that many of the people at the orphanage, especially the matriarchs, missed him as well, as Naruto had sent them later, and you remember how the woman cried. Kakashi just glanced around, not really saying anything. Time skip. Hiruzen was currently in his office. He was going through something that every Hokage hated, except for Minato, as that man seemed to finish his paperwork rather quickly. Well, there was a reason why he was called the Yellow Flash. But every other Hokage hated the dreadful, demonic paperwork. Every Hokage hated them. Hiruzen looked at the stack of the paper on his desk as he glared at it, wishing that it would just suddenly combust into flames. But that would lose so much records and valuable intel. As he scoffed, valuable intel, some of these are just petitions from the villagers. A real waste of his time. He should really find a successor very soon. After all, he's getting rather old for this. As he rubbed a hand down his face, well, at least he has his trusty friend. As he pulled out his pipe, the moment he did, he felt a ear current shift. As the window was open, as a shadow loomed over the area a bit. You know, smoking is bad for your health. A smile came on Hiruzen's face. I thought you wouldn't be back until next month. Well, we had to cut the trip a bit short because of that arrogant, disrespectful brat, said Jiraiya. Hiruzen narrowed his eyes towards Jiraiya. Sounds like the both of you aren't really getting along so well. Well, the brat can be annoying to no end sometimes. Has he changed that much? I mean, last time I saw Naruto, he was this lovable, small kid who was really nice to everyone. Jiraiya scratched the back of his head nervously. What did you do? Asked Hiruzen. Well, I had to teach him about life. What did you do? Hiruzen said. Well, I had to show him what it means to be a man and how to grow up in a ninja world like this. And over the years his personality kind of changed and twisted. What do you mean? Hiruzen said. Well, Jiraiya scratched his face. You see, well, you just have to see for yourself. Hiruzen sighed. Jiraiya, don't tell me you turned him into you. And what does that mean? Jiraiya asked. Well, a pervert. I'm offended, Jiraiya said. Do you really think of me as such, Sensei? Just a pervert? Please don't say it. So tell me, what the hell did you do to Naruto? Me? I didn't do him anything. Let's just say he grew up a bit too fast on me. Like what exactly? Well, the reason why I'm back early than expected is because we had to leave the village that we're in. I got some intel, and well, he's older now, so he doesn't want any babysitter as he called it, despite me wanting my operatives to watch over him. And he didn't want to leave the village for me to go gather my intel, and I just didn't want to leave him alone because I didn't know when I'll be back. And he could tag along, but he didn't want to leave. Why is that, Irison asks. Because of a girl, said Jiraiya. Naruto is just 12 years old. Would he be so infatuated with a girl that it caused him to not want to leave a village when you and him has been on the road for a long time now? As I said, Sensei, he has really changed a lot. So I kind of, well, messed things up for him so he would come along with me. I mean, it's not like it's the first time he's been like this. What do you mean mess things up for him? As Jiraiya was talking, someone was moving at incredible speeds, dashing from rooftop to rooftop. As the person looked up, Jiraiya was still sitting on the windowsill. As Jiraiya stopped talking, Hiruzen looked towards him. Before Jiraiya could utter another word, his eyes widened as he tried to turn, but the person was already there. The person kicked him right inside the room. Jiraiya rolled across the ground and hit right into the wall. God damn it, he said as he rubbed his head. He looked over towards the window as Hiruzen turned to see someone else crouching down in the windowsill. Long, blonde hair flowing down into his back, a medium-sized scroll on his back as well. Black, fingerless gloves, black pants, grey, long-sleeve shirt, with a black, sleeveless jacket over it. There you are, you old pervert. You think coming here would save you? What the hell did you do, said Naruto? I told you that we were leaving. You just wanted to go to the hot spring country to peep on girls, said Naruto. Did not, said Jiraiya. I wanted to gather more intel. Intel on your stupid books, Naruto said to him. Stupid books? And you enjoy them so well. As Hiruzen looked at the both of them cursing, like he wasn't even in here. Tell me, who was this new source of information that you have, so you had to leave the village right away? Well, you're lying, said Naruto. You just wanted to peep on the girls in the hot spring country. That is why I said I didn't want to go. What did you tell Mai? Well, if you had just listened to me and leave, nothing bad would have happened. And you became quite disrespectful, so I thought I would teach you a lesson. In respect, Jiraiya said. And what lesson might that be? Well, what did she say to you, Jiraiya asked. When I go talk to Mai, said Naruto, his tone becoming too sweet. Yes, too calm. She slapped me. And then guess who I saw? Rebecca, her sister, who slapped me as well. And I had no idea what was going on. And I tried to talk to them, but the both of them simply ignored me the entire time. So I knew that you were behind it. And you did something. And I'm guessing that you tell, didn't you? Well, yes, Jiraiya says he fully got to his feet. After all, when I told you that we're leaving a place, you shouldn't be arguing with me, you should just come along. So let me get this straight. You told Mai that I was seeing her sister, just to make me leave the village with you, so you can go peep on girls at the hot spring, and now neither girl are talking to me. Well, it's not my fault I decided to date the both of them at the same time. So let me get this straight. You did all of that, so I can go to the hot spring country with you, so you can peep on girls. And because you weren't showing me the proper respect, Jiraiya said. No, but you really did that so you can go peep on girls, Naruto said, repeating once again. Hiruzen just sit there as he got the drift of what happened, as Naruto has indeed changed. To hear the things that you were talking about, dating multiple girls at once. What has Jiraiya done to the poor boy? Jiraiya gave a smirk. It's not like you didn't do it to me before, because you didn't want to stay in the cold temperature before. That's different, said Naruto. How so, Jiraiya asks. Because Naruto threw the scroll that he had on his back up in the air. Suddenly, it stretched out. As Naruto slammed his hand on it, there was a poof, as smoke filled the room. I didn't want to peep on girls, said Naruto, as he swung something towards Jiraiya. Jiraiya had to duck, as it was a long staff. "You're gonna pay, you old perv," said Naruto. "Don't think so," said Jiraiya as he leaped through the window. Naruto was about to leap after him. "Naruto-kun." As Naruto paused, he then turned. A smile came on his face. "Oh hey there, Gigi," he said. "It's been a long time, hasn't it?" As he placed a staff down on the ground. All of his problems seemed to disappear as his tone was neutral and calm. As he had a smile on his face, he walked over. "Yes, it has. You have surely grown and changed a lot, haven't you?" "You think so?" said Naruto. As he glanced over himself. "Yes. The last time I saw you, you weren't even tall enough to reach me at the waist. But you gotten so tall," Hiruzen said. Indeed, Naruto was tall for a 12-year-old. And not to mention there was no baby fat on his face. It seems that Jiraiya has been training the boy endless, as Hiruzen could see that from the way his clothing was set. There was muscles under that. It seems that the boy had surely buffed up. And training-wise, Hiruzen wondered how far he has gotten. "So I take it that your training trip was good," Hiruzen said. "Well, sometime good, sometime bad. It was mostly good when the old perv wasn't around to drag me all over the place to waste my time when I was younger. Well, at least Shiki was always around, and she thought that it was good that I know more about women, so I don't become someone rather naive when I grow up. And the more I grew, the more she told me, and those lessons were quite interesting," said Naruto. Hiruzen had to ask, "How did you date two girls at the same time, especially if they were sisters?" "Oh, so you got that from the conversation, huh?" "Well, I was listening." "So, how?" Hiruzen asked. That was just on his mind. He needed to know. After all, being one of the readers of the Ichi Ichi Paradise, Jiraiya always came up with some crazy chapters in his books. And he also went over that as well. But the main character always got caught and messed up in the end. It seems like it happened in Naruto. But you want to know how did Naruto actually pull that off? The envoys in the room were listening as well, as they have seen this side of the Hokage before, this perverted side. But he seemed to just be interesting. "Well, it's simple. I told him that I was here on a top secret mission, and that no one should know I'm here. Not even their own family, and that I can put them in danger. And they didn't tell anyone, until," as Naruto glanced towards the window, "You know I know that you're there, right?" Jiraiya popped his head up. "Look, kid, we had to leave. You know what he did? He did that so that we can go to a hot spring, for him to peep on girls for his new book. You know, I was never this violent when you did to me," said Jiraiya. "The place was goddamn cold," said Naruto. He didn't want to leave the mountain regions because there was two girls there that he found interesting, said Naruto. And the place was boring. There wasn't much there to do or anything, and it was just freezing cold. And he didn't want to leave. And I was just a young kid back then, so I ended up telling on him. Well, the girls chased him down, and they brought their families with pitchforks and everything. It seemed that they wanted to murder him. Yeah. "So what's fear now?" said Jiraiya. "You got away with a few slaps, but I nearly got beaten to death." Yeah, that happened every time," said Naruto. "And it's not like you weren't mad when you found out it was me. After all, what did you do?" "Well," Jiraiya said. "What did you do?" Naruto asked. "Sell you." "What?" Hiruzen said. "He tried to sell me," said Naruto. "I was just kidding," Jiraiya said. "I just want to teach him a lesson to not piss me off. He left me with a strange family. For hours, they cut my hair. They say that they were going to buy me new clothing, and in the future I was going to take over the family business." Hiruzen looked towards Jiraiya. Did you really try to sell him?" "No, I was just teaching him a lesson to not piss me off. After all, I did came back for him hours later when I was in a suit and tie. And this when I was younger. I was there the entire time, Sensei. I just want to shake him up a bit." "But you went a bit too far, Jiraiya. Trying to sell him? I think Naruto is justified by slapping you with that stick of his." A smirk came on Naruto's face. "Hey, hold up," Jiraiya said. "That was just a joke. I didn't physically harm him." "Oh, so you mean our train didn't get intense after that?" "Well, I just want you to get ready for the future." "Get me ready my ass," said Naruto. It was non-stop kunais and shuriken dodging. He tossed them after me relentlessly. If it wasn't for my skin hardening, which he knew that I have, so he kept on tossing harder on purpose, I would have gotten hurt. Well, he would have been fine the next day. Still, it wasn't nice, said Naruto. Well, you did blab on me, said Jiraiya. So this is another part of revenge to tell on me, said Naruto. Can we just get past this? I mean, it's not the first girl and it won't be the last, so can't we just get over it? How did you know that she was in love of my life? Someone I'm supposed to spend my entire time with. Someone to have my children. Really? Said Jiraiya. Hiruzen watched as Naruto mood change. Guess you're right. Alright, forget it, he said. What are you gonna do, Jiraiya said. Hiruzen looked confused. Naruto said forget it. I don't know what you're talking about. As Jiraiya looked at the boy with fear in his eyes. Look, I'm sorry for what I did. Can we just get past this? Yes, forget it, said Naruto. As he turned towards Hiruzen, now ignoring Jiraiya. Hiruzen saw Jiraiya gulp. What's wrong? He's up to something. He doesn't forgive anything this easily. You're just paranoid, said Naruto. As he walked over slowly and picked up his staff. He then sealed it back into the scroll as he placed it back on his back. So, the village hasn't changed all that much. Not really, said Hiruzen as he looked around. Well, you came back a bit earlier than I expected. I wanted you to come back to take the entrance exam, but now that you're here, I guess I should enroll you for the last month of the academy. Wait, what? Well, you are going to join the academy. What? I thought I was just going to be getting one of those headband things to know that I'm a ninja of the village. I know the reason why he doesn't wear it, because with all the spying missions in Naruto, as he looked towards Jiraiya, why can't I just have one? Well, you have to take the academy test. Really? I heard about the academy test. I mean, isn't it just basically child's play like a clone transformation and some kunai thrown or something like that? Well, yes, but we have to see your skill set. Wait, so you're telling me, even though I went in a training trip with this pervert, I'm being underestimated? Although he's a big idiotic pervert, he's still kind of one of the strongest ninjas in the Elemental Nation, isn't he? Well, yes, said Hiruzen. So, after a couple of years, doesn't that qualify me to at least be a bit strong? Not to mention my situation. Well, yes, but you still have to take the test. Really? Said Naruto, with a deadpan tone. Just be quiet and take the damn test, Jiraiya said. As Naruto glared at him, before his glare simply vanished and he smiled. Okay then, I'll take the test, he said. Look, this psychology crap that you're trying to pull on me, I won't fall for it, Jiraiya said. It's not like I'm scared of you. Oh, and why would you be? You're a big grown ninja, and I'm just a small kid. Why would you be afraid of me, said Naruto. Jiraiya gulped once again, as he looked around his body to check if anything was wrong. He then made his way over and he sat down on the couch. As Naruto simply whistled, as he went and sat down right in the couch as well. As Jiraiya eyed him closely. So, within all of this talk, Hiruzen said, I haven't been told. Wait, said Naruto, stopping Hiruzen. The academy. Is there any hot girls there? Hiruzen blinked. As he looked at Naruto, the kid was dead serious. Naruto, it wouldn't be proper of me to talk about something like that. So that's a no, huh? Said Naruto. Huh. As he turned towards Jiraiya, and you told me that Konoha have some of the hottest girls. I guess you were lying. Really? Was I? Said Jiraiya. Think back when we met that other Konoha ninja. Well, she's not a part of the village anymore, said Naruto, but yeah, tits is quite hot. Here's a nerd his eyes. Given the fact that Naruto said tits, a single thought came to his head. He shouldn't be thinking this because she was his student, but still, she was rather large in the asset department. Are you speaking of Snavy? Oh yeah, I guess you have to know her, she's your student. You met Snavy on the road? Yeah, a couple months back. So, Jiraiya shook his head as Hiruzen sighed. Huh, guess not yet, huh? Well, maybe you could use this brat as a target, Jiraiya said. After all, she wants to kill him. And why is that? Well, he did something that no man ever did and survived. What do you mean? You, of all people, should know, Sensei. That's never really hate pervert. Especially people that peep on her. After all, she nearly beat me to death one time when I accidentally peeped on her in the hot spring. But this kid managed to survive somehow. Wait, You peeped on Snazzy, said Hiruzen. It was an accident, said Naruto. Accident my ass, said Jiraiya. Huh. I am sure that you didn't hear her inside. I swear I didn't hear her. Huh. You got better at lying, Jiraiya said. I don't know what you're talking about, said Naruto. Well, if we ever want to get her back, just use Naruto as a target here. I'm sure she will come back just to beat living crap out of him. After all, you escape without getting damaged. Well, I can get Tits to calm down, said Naruto. She's just angry most of the time, but get her some liquor. And is it wise to call her Tits? Said Hiruzen. Won't that make it worse? Yeah, kind of. But when she's plastered, she doesn't really mind it at all. She actually enjoyed the name. Hiruzen realized that we're getting off topic. So, about the training, he said. How far has he come, Jiraiya? Well, I would say probably high tuning. Really? As Hiruzen was surprised, given the fact that when Naruto left he wasn't any rank at all. That's without any of his special perks. Yes, about that, Hiruzen said. Are these real? He asked. Look, Sensei, I don't really know what to tell you, but the kid is just beyond special. We need to talk privately, said Jiraiya. Hiruzen got the gist as he waved his hand. All envoys left the room. Huh, thought they would never leave, said Naruto. That century of yours, Naruto. It has gotten better. Yeah, I know they were here the moment I came in, said Naruto. This kid right here is a gold mine. Yeah, about that, said Hiruzen. These reports. I mean, I knew you wouldn't lie to me about something like this, but what exactly is it? Asked Hiruzen. Well, said Naruto, seeing that they were alone now. It's quite simple. It's called matter transmutation. I'm able to take an item, a weapon, or debris, and forge it into something else entirely, said Naruto. May I? He said. Hiruzen nodded as Naruto took up the paperweight off of his decks. Suddenly, a bright purple flame enveloped on both of his hands as he held the paperweight inside. As he closed his eyes for a few seconds, the flames then vanished as he opened his eyes. Opening his hand, Hiruzen was shocked. Inside of Naruto's hand was a small doll, but what the doll was of, it was Hiruzen. Every wrinkle, a perfect statue of the Hokage in a smaller form. Naruto handed it over to Hiruzen and Hiruzen looked it over. So you're able to change any matter to any different shape, or size, or into anything you want. Yeah, basically, said Naruto. But, said Jiraiya. But, said Hiruzen. Well, when I do it too much, my head kind of hurts. And if I push it, I kind of get a nosebleed. The last time I pushed myself too hard, I passed out for a while. Not just a while, said Jiraiya. What happened, Hiruzen said. He was out for an entire week. What? Said Hiruzen. Well, I spoke to the doctors about it, and they checked him over. They said that he was fine. His body just seemed to just shut down. They said that his body was rejuvenating. It seems like he using up that strange ability of his, caused his power to dampen. And it took him a while to regain himself and his composure. But when he woke up, he was back to normal. So I kind of put a limit on that, what he could change and what he could switch. This needs to be kept a secret, Jiraiya said. After all, he can make literally anything. Food, money. Do you know what will happen if the world finds out about this? Yeah, said Hiruzen, as he understands that fully. Someone that can literally create anything out of any other matter that was beyond something this world has ever seen before. This has to be kept a secret, Hiruzen said. I won't even tell the council about this. Given how greedy they are, they would want you to use this for the benefit of Konoha and not caring about your well-being. Well, it's not like I would just sit back and let them force me, said Naruto. Hiruzen was now intrigued, so what else he asked? So you're telling me that every other thing in the report was true? Yeah, said Naruto. I mean, I don't even know myself, but the voice is still there in my head. It took a while, but these abilities just came to me by this voice, whenever I need them the most. Like the time I almost got my head chopped off. Wait, what? Hiruzen said. It was by a bandit. And where were you, Jiraiya? Well, we were given a mission. You were doing missions? From who? It was this small town that needed our help. some bandits had took over and run the people out. So we went there to clean them up. And Mr. Big Shot here said that he can handle it himself. I was there, but he told me to stay out of it. And he almost got his head chopped off. Well, I would have, if it wasn't for my size alteration, said Naruto. And what's that, here's an axe? Well, this, said Naruto, as he held out his hand. Harrison watched in pure shock as Naruto's hand started to shrink until it was the size of a baby arm. Weird, isn't it, said Naruto, as he moved the small baby arm around. That's always freaky when you do it, said Jiraiya. So, how did this? Well, I kind of shrank my head, said Naruto. It was scary at first because I couldn't return back normal until I got the hang of it, but I still can't do it to my entire body. That's the part I haven't figured out yet, but I can do it to other things, like... Naruto shot forward and grabbed onto Jiraiya. Let go of me, Brack, said Jiraiya as he tried to move, but he was on the couch and Naruto was pinning him down. But Jiraiya wasn't a Sani for nothing as he picked up Naruto and tossed him to the other side of the room, but the damage was already done. Harrison burst out laughing when he noticed Jiraiya stand up. The man's two arms were the size of baby arms, as it made him look quite weird, as Naruto dropped on the ground as he started to laugh as well. This isn't funny, Jiraiya says he waved his small arms in the air. Well, from our perspective, it is, said Naruto, as he burst out laughing once again. As Harrison started to laugh as well. Sensei, come on, back me up on this. Sorry, Jiraiya, but it's kinda funny. As Harrison could do nothing but laugh. It took a minute, but the laughing finally died down, only for Naruto to burst out laughing again once he saw Jiraiya flaring his arms. That's for messing with my girl, said Naruto. Alright, yeah, your joke is over. Return my arm back to normal. Don't think so, said Naruto. I wonder if I can even perform that ability again. Don't screw with me, Brack, said Jiraiya. Even in this state, I'll kick your ass up and down this village. Oh, with those little arms of yours? And if you touch me, I'll shrink your legs. The only way you can do that is if you get a proper hold on me, which I won't allow you to touch me at all. Well, I might get lucky. I know all that you can do, Breath. Nothing of yours to caught me off guard or surprise me. So return my arms now, before things get bad, Jiraiya said. As he tried to fold his arms but they were so short, Naruto dropped and started to laugh again. As Jiraiya just glared at him. Alright, Naruto, as much fun as this would be, return him. Alright, fine, said Naruto. You're getting off too easy. As Jiraiya watched his arms full out back as he flexed them. Much more better, he said. Well, these are quite interesting, said Harrison. So is there anything else? Well, yeah, said Naruto. Raising his hand, a strange purple barrier came right in front of him. It was big enough to block his entire body, but for Jiraiya it wouldn't be big enough to block his entire body. This is my force field, said Naruto. It can protect me from any harm, as far as we test it. Kunai's abilities like fire style and water abilities can't break through it. Is it that impenetrable? Yeah, well, as far as we tried, said Naruto. Well, I mean, a large rock couldn't break through it, so I doubt physical strength can break through it. And how did you guys enact these tests? Well, said Jiraiya, so both of them scratched behind their head. Here's a sigh. You know, you have to be safe when you try out these new techniques of yours. Especially throwing a giant rock towards Naruto. What if the barrier had broken? Well, you know we could have used clones, said Naruto. Yeah, that's right, said Jiraiya. But you wanted to test it firsthand, didn't you? Yeah, I guess you're right. But everything worked out, so we're fine, said Naruto. That's not the point, said Hiruzen as he sighed. Well, at least you're fine. So what else, he asked. Where there's also my energy discharge. We can't do that one in here. Yeah, said Jiraiya. Given from the name, it's some sort of way to produce energy. Yeah, in all kinds of form and ways, said Naruto. But last time I tested out, let's just say I want to see what the full effects were. And what did you do? Judging from your tone, I can see that it isn't anything nice. Yeah, far from nice, said Naruto. As Hiruzen looked at the both of them, you remember that unknown attack in Kamen Rider Kun that, well, blew up the top part of that mountain. Yeah, Hiruzen said. All Naruto here. Hiruzen sighed. You know, They thought that was a terrorist attack, trying to attack your home. Well, we left immediately, so no one knew it was us. All ends well, so I suppose it's alright. Pearson sighed. He never thought, well, this would really happen. Coming from the reports, he never thought these abilities were a reality, but it seems like they were really here. And they were also dangerous. But he had to know. What else he asked? Oh yeah, this. Pearson blinked, because Naruto mode did not move. I'm talking to you directly into your mind. The pervert told me that this ability is similar to the Yamanaka clan, but it's telepathy. I can talk to you without even moving my lips. This would be a great advance on the battlefield without letting the enemy know your plan even if they're there. Don't worry, you can just talk back to me and I'll hear it. You can hear me? Yeah, said Naruto, loud and clear. Hey, what did you just do, Jiraiya? Was that telepathy? Yeah, said Naruto. So what else? Asked Hiruzen. Well, there's another, but we shouldn't go over that, said Jiraiya. What is it? Asked Hiruzen. Well, the kid kind of opened a wormhole. A wormhole? Yeah, I don't exactly know what it was, but something tried to came out. What? Well, I stopped it before it came out fully, but we saw something. Hiruzen watches the both of them shiver a bit. Flashback. As both Naruto and Jiraiya were currently in a field era. Anything new? Jiraiya asks. Yeah, something just came to me. The voice again. Something about dimensional rift. Don't exactly know what that means. Why don't you try it out, said Jiraiya. Small at first, because I know that you tend to over-exaggerate yourself when trying to do things. Yeah, said Naruto. As he held his hand together, that same purple flame came on his arm. As he held his arm forward, nothing happened, until the air in front of him tore. Jiraiya blinked. What the hell? As he made his way over. I'm not into that science thing or anything, but even I know when someone tear a space and time. I've heard about foreign jutsu that allow you to tear space and rift dimensional, but this, where does it go? How the hell should I know, said Naruto, as the both of them peeped into the hole. What they saw next, they didn't exactly know what it was, but they knew they saw at least 8 eyes. 8 eyes with slits in the middle. As something started to crawl towards them, Naruto stepped back. Close it, said Jiraiya. Something that shot out as Naruto closed it immediately. The something that shot out was cut, as a strange tentacle fell down to the ground. Naruto started taking deep breaths. It's alright, Jiraiya said. Whatever it is, it didn't came out. What was that? I have no idea, Jiraiya said. He walked over as he looked at the smoking tentacle, as the thing was cut right at the base. He reached to kick it, but the thing squirmed as he stepped back. Whatever this is, you shouldn't try it again, and we should get rid of this. Going through hindsight, Jiraiya burned it. In the flashback. Well, it's safe to say that you should not use that, said Hiruzen. Yeah, said Naruto. Even I know that's messed up. So anything else? Well, not really, said Naruto. Well, not counting my stamina, speed, or strength. Yeah, the kid is fast for someone his age. And also his stamina. I don't know if it's Uzumaki genes, or because he's a Jinchuriki or what. Hiruzen looked towards Naruto, as Jiraiya had told him. Naruto was shocked finding out that he was a Jinchuriki. Flashback. I'm what? A Jinchuriki. What the hell is that? As a 10-year-old Naruto was looking at Jiraiya confused. Well, I believe it's time that I told you everything. Wait, my parents included? Everything, said Jiraiya. A good 30 minutes later, Naruto found out everything about his parents, Minato Namikaze, about his mother Kushina Uzumaki. As Naruto was shocked, his father was the Hokage, like JJ. But other people don't know this. No, that is why you have to keep that secret, especially about you being a Jinjulke. I'm sure when we get back to the village, your heritage will be told to the council. After all, you have a lot of inheritance that belong to you. But as for other people, well, they won't find out. So I have to lie? Well, at the moment it's quite dangerous for you to reveal anything to anyone. It's just a precaution to keep you safe. So there's 8 more out there like me. Well, not exactly like you. You see, kid, people tend to blame Jinjulkis and don't like them. What? But people don't hate me, Naruto. That's because Hiruzen decided to take it up on his hand and make sure no one found out. So, the old man protected me? Yeah, pretty much. In the flashback, as Hiruzen saw that Naruto's facial features didn't change at all, seems like he had taken well to find out that he was a Jinjulke and find out about his parents. Alright, Naruto. Jiraiya has taught you well, because I can see firsthand that you understand the dangers of these abilities of yours. But if there is anything new that pop up, I need to know immediately, okay? Sure thing, said Naruto, as he gave him a smile. He still respected the old man very much. After all, he protected him his entire life by keeping his heritage a secret about him being a Jinjulke as well, so that people wouldn't hate him. Well, would you like to see your new home? Before that, said Naruto, I have to go. Go? Well, I have to meet up back with people at the orphanage. I mean, it's been so long. I only spoke to them in letter, and some of the kids are still there that I used to know. So can I go visit them? Sure thing. But don't take too long. Make your way back here after you're finished. Sure thing, said Naruto. And with that, he hopped through the window. Huh. He's just like you. You mean him jumping through the window, said Jiraiya. Yeah, that and many more. Well, he's quite special, given the things that he can do. And I believe there's a lot more there that we don't even know about. We haven't talked about the fox. Well, Naruto told me that the fox and him has come to some terms of understanding. What does that mean? I have no idea. He just told me that the fox won't try to influence him. I have no reason not to believe him. After all, he's never lied before, but I have no reason why the fox would just trust him so freely. Well, it's Naruto. Growing up, people always loved him. Perhaps he stirs something inside the fox that made the fox respect and love him as well. Huh, really? Well, given the thing that he has done so far, I wouldn't put it past him, and I wouldn't put it past the fox to have a good personality. After all, it's not often you see a kid that can do such things like him. Yes, you're right. As they continued to discuss, Naruto made his way as he arrived. As he went straight inside, as he waited, after knocking on the door. He was in a large complex. After all, having so many kids at the orphanage, the place had to be large. The door was opened up as a woman came out. Naruto was surprised as he glanced up at her. Long black hair, beautiful shade of red lipstick, and beautiful red eyes. Why, hello there, said Naruto as he looked at her. I mean, I know that I was gone for a very long time, but I would have remembered you. So you must be new. Yes, I am new, the woman said, looking down at him. Who are you, she asked. Oh, excuse me, Angel, he said. I'm judging that it is your name, given how beautiful you are. The woman looked at him. Was this kid flirting with her? The name is Naruto Uzumaki. Her eyes widened a bit. You're Naruto? Yes. So tell me, Angel, are you working here? Well, you should know my name is Kurenai UI. And yes, I offer my assistance every now and then. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Kurenai UI, said Naruto as he extended his hand. She extended her hand for a shake, but he held onto her hand and kissed the back of her hand in a gentleman pose. Was this kid for real, she thought. But she knew that name. I've heard a lot about you, Naruto Uzumaki. Oh, you have? All nice, I suppose. Well, yes. But it seems like you have changed over the past couple of years. Well, everyone has to grow up someday. You know, this used to be my home. I don't even know you that well, said Naruto. And I can see that you're a wonderful person, you volunteering here. How about we get something to eat and I get to know you? Are you acting me out, she said. Well, kind of, said Naruto. You're really straightforward for a kid. But you are a kid. Age is just a number. Kurenai, who is it? Well, this is gonna come as a surprise. But it's Naruto, the boy that you ever talk about. Wait, what? Suddenly, footsteps could be heard as someone swung the door open wide. Naruto was enveloped in a tight hug before he knew what happened. As, given that the woman was still taller than him, he was picked off his feet and swung around. As Naruto smiled, the woman placed him down. I can't believe it. You're back, she said. As Naruto smiled at her, her name was Lily, as she was a matriarch when he was here. Hello there, Lily, said Naruto. I see that you've gotten more beautiful than before. The woman smiled at him. I'm flattered, and you've gotten so much more handsome, she said. And you've grown. A lot. Well, the years will do that to you. It's been a real long time, Naruto. I'm happy that you're back. So, how long are you staying for, she asks. Well, it seems like I'm going to be becoming a ninja. So, probably a long while, said Naruto. But if I'm ever going to hit the road again, I'll make sure to come by and tell you. Come, the kids will be happy to see you. Some of them are adopted, but some of them are still here. Naruto winked at Kurenai as she looked at him. Was this a kid or not, she really wondered, as he made his way inside. A boy saw him. As he looked Naruto up and down, he then noticed the whisker marks. Wait, Naruto? That caused the other kids to turn around. Most of them had grown, yes. But despite that, he was still the tallest out of all of them. Wait. A girl turned. Is that you? As Naruto smiled, it couldn't be mistaken, the whisker marks were there. The army of kids that remember him shot over as they all started bombarding him with questions. As Kurenai and Lily watched, as Lily was happy that he was back in the village. Time skip. It took a while, but Naruto was able to talk to all the kids. He was currently inside of Lily's office, as he was sitting in a chair there. They were talking about him on the road. So I'm glad that everything went well. I see that you've grown up and become big and strong, she said. Well, I have to be strong to protect the ones that are precious to me. And I did make you a promise. A promise, she said. It seems that you forgot, said Naruto. Sorry, she said. Oh, it's no matter. After all, a kid, promising that he will come back, super wealthy, just sound like a kid dream. As Lily looked at him as Naruto unsealed the scroll off his back. Before flipping through hand signs, he slammed his hand on it. Suddenly, there was a massive poof. Smoke filled the area. Naruto-kun, said Lily. What is going on? When the smoke cleared away, she saw 5 briefcases on the table. As Naruto smiled, I always fulfill my promise, he said, as he clicked them open. Lily's eyes went wide when she saw nothing but cash lining all the briefcase, full to the brim. She looked at Naruto, who simply smiled at her, a big beaming smile. On the inside, he was happy. It was nice to be back and see everyone again. But guys, if you ain't subscribed right here, if what's the next part deserve to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.